English is easy if you follow this. Learning English can feel like embarking on a vast ocean voyage. At first, the waters may seem choppy, the destination far away, and your little boat unsteady. But every great sailor started by setting foot into a wobbly vessel, unsure of the course yet fueled by curiosity and determination. And you, too, have taken the first step by deciding to learn. Now, let's imagine the journey ahead not as a daunting task, but as an exciting adventure, one where every word, every phrase, every discovery brings you closer to the vibrant, interconnected world of English. The first thing you must realize is that English is not your enemy, it is a friend you haven't met yet. At first, it may seem shy and unapproachable, full of peculiar rules and sounds that twist your tongue. You may struggle to pronounce words like through, stumble over irregular verbs like run, ran, run, and wonder why cough, though, and bow don't rhyme. But if you approach English with patience and curiosity, you'll find it begins to open up to you like a flower blooming in slow motion. English, after all, loves company. It's a language shaped by centuries of mingling with others, Germanic roots, Latin influences, and even a dash of French finesse. It's used by billions, and every voice adds to its richness. Soon, yours will too. The easiest way to begin understanding English is not by memorizing long lists of grammar rules or vocabulary but by listening to it, letting it wash over you like the sound of waves. Think about how a baby learns. Before they ever say mama or dada, they listen, endlessly, attentively, to the sounds around them. They do not judge themselves for not understanding. They simply absorb. You, too, must absorb. Watch English movies, listen to English songs, and surround yourself with the rhythms of the language. At first, you may understand very little, but that's okay. Over time, your mind will begin to pick up patterns, and words will start to make sense. Imagine sitting in a small, cozy room, a cup of tea in hand, and listening to a story in English. You may not understand every sentence, but you catch a word here, a phrase there. The speaker mentions a red apple, and you smile, picturing it clearly in your mind. They say, she walked slowly to the door, and you see a woman, hesitant, moving one careful step at a time. This is how language begins to grow inside you, not through perfect comprehension, but through moments of connection, where meaning emerges from context and repetition. As you grow more comfortable with listening, you will feel an itch to respond, to use the words yourself. At first, you may feel shy, as though every mistake is a spotlight exposing your imperfections. But here's the secret, everyone who has ever learned a language has made mistakes. In fact, mistakes are proof that you are learning. Think of them as stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. When a toddler says, "goed," instead of "went," we don't scold them, we cheer because they've grasped the concept of past tense, even if the form isn't perfect yet. Be like that toddler, brave, unafraid to fall, always eager to try again. Imagine you are in a market, standing before a fruit seller. You want to buy bananas, but you aren't sure how to ask. You point and say, "Bananas, please." The seller smiles and replies, "How many?" You pause, unsure of the words, and say, "Two. 2 bananas." It's not perfect, but it works. The seller understands, and you leave with your bananas, a small triumph in your pocket. Language is, at its core, about connection, not perfection. It's about being understood and understanding others. Every time you try, you are building that bridge. Now let's talk about the words themselves, the treasure chest of vocabulary that you will gather piece by piece. Some words are like gold coins, valuable and versatile. Words like good, go, eat, love, and home will serve you in countless situations. Others are like rare gems, beautiful but not often used. You don't need to collect every gem right away, focus on the gold coins first. Learn the words that help you describe your world, the food you eat, the people you meet, the places you go. As your collection grows, so will your confidence, and soon you'll find yourself reaching for those rarer gems when the moment calls for them. Reading is another way to invite English into your life. Start with something simple, perhaps a children's book or a short article about a topic you love. Picture yourself sitting by a sunny window, turning the pages slowly. The sentences are short, the words familiar. The cat is on the mat. You smile because you understand it completely. Then you come across a new word, purr. You pause, curious. What does it mean? You look it up and learn that it's the sound a cat makes when it's happy. The next time you see a cat, you think, purr, and the word feels like an old friend. Reading doesn't just teach you new words, it shows you how they fit together, how they dance in the rhythm of a sentence. As you progress, you'll discover that English isn't just about words, it's about the spaces between them, the way they are arranged to express ideas and emotions. This is where grammar comes in, not as a set of rigid rules to memorize but as the architecture of language. Think of grammar as the blueprint for a beautiful house. You don't need to understand every detail to enjoy living in it, but knowing the basics will help you build your own sentences with confidence. Start small, learn to say, I am, before, I was, he goes, before, he went. Each rule you master is like adding another brick to your sturdy, growing structure. And then there's speaking, the most exciting and perhaps the most challenging part of your journey. Speaking English is like learning to dance. At first, you may feel awkward, your tongue tripping over unfamiliar steps. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Picture yourself standing in front of a mirror, practicing a simple greeting, hello, how are you? You say it again and again until the words roll off your tongue effortlessly. Then you try it with a friend, a stranger, anyone who will listen. With each conversation, your confidence grows, and the dance begins to feel like second nature. Finally, remember that learning English is not a race, it is a journey, and every step forward is a victory. Celebrate your progress, the first time you understand a full sentence, the first time you use a new word correctly, the first time you hold a conversation without stopping to think. These moments are the milestones that mark your path. So here you are, standing at the edge of the vast English-speaking ocean, your boat ready to set sail. The horizon may seem distant, but remember, every wave you cross brings you closer. With curiosity as your compass and persistence as your wind, you will not only reach the shore, you will thrive on it. And one day, you'll look back and realize that English was never difficult, it was simply waiting for you to meet it, one word, one sentence, one joyful discovery at a time. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that English no longer feels like a stranger but a companion. This realization doesn't arrive in a grand moment of enlightenment but in small, quiet triumphs. It sneaks in when you're watching a movie and catch yourself laughing at a joke you wouldn't have understood a few months ago. It blooms when someone asks for directions, and you reply in English without hesitation. These moments remind you that progress isn't always loud or dramatic, sometimes, it's as soft and steady as the turning of a tide. But even as you grow comfortable, you'll encounter days when English feels stubborn, refusing to cooperate. Perhaps you struggle to find the right word, or you misunderstand something and feel embarrassed. These moments can make you doubt yourself, but they're not setbacks, they're part of the process. Think of them as hills on a long hike. The climb may leave you breathless, but the view from the top makes it all worthwhile. Remember, every mistake you make teaches you something new. The word you forget today is the word you'll remember tomorrow. To keep your journey lively and engaging, surround yourself with things that excite you. If you love music, dive into English songs. Sing along, even if you don't know all the words. Let the melody carry you, and soon you'll find yourself picking up phrases without even trying. If you're a fan of sports, follow games in English. Listen to commentators, read articles, and join discussions online. Your passion for the subject will make the language feel less like a chore and more like a tool for enjoying what you already love. Now, let's wander into the realm of storytelling. Stories are the heart of any language, and English is rich with tales waiting to be discovered. Start with fables or short stories, where the sentences are simple, and the lessons are universal. Picture yourself curled up with a book, the words flowing like a gentle stream. As you read, you encounter a character facing a challenge, a little boy who cries wolf, a tortoise racing a hare. You see their struggles, their triumphs, and along the way, you learn not just new words but new ways of thinking. Stories teach you how to connect ideas, how to express emotions, and how to navigate the beautiful complexity of language. But reading is only one part of the story. Writing is the other side of the coin, and it's a powerful way to solidify what you've learned. Start small, a diary entry, a text message to a friend, a comment on a social media post. Write about your day, your dreams, your favorite foods. Don't worry about being perfect, focus on expressing yourself. Imagine writing a letter to someone in English, even if you never send it. Dear friend, you begin. Today, I learned a new word, sunshine. It reminds me of how happy I feel when I see the morning sun. With each sentence, you grow more confident, more articulate. Writing lets you play with the language, to test its limits and discover its possibilities. As you continue, you'll notice that English has its quirks, words that mean one thing in one context and something entirely different in another. For instance, the word light can refer to weight, brightness, or even something carefree. This fluidity might confuse you at first, but it's also what makes English so fascinating. Think of it as a puzzle to solve, where every word fits into multiple places depending on the picture you want to create. The more you encounter these quirks, the more they'll start to feel like old friends, their strangeness replaced by familiarity. And then there's humor, a true test of your grasp of English. Understanding jokes in another language is like unlocking a hidden level in a game. At first, you might not get why someone laughs when they say, "Why don't skeletons fight each other?" Because they don't have the guts. But as you learn more about wordplay, puns, and cultural references, you'll begin to see the layers of meaning. Humor is not just about words, it's about timing, context, and a shared sense of understanding. When you laugh with someone in English, you're not just speaking the language, you're connecting on a deeper level. One of the most magical aspects of learning English is the way it opens doors to the world. Picture yourself traveling to a new country where English is the common language. You step off the plane, a little nervous but excited. At the hotel, you check in effortlessly, using phrases you practiced. At a cafe, you order your favorite drink, the words rolling off your tongue like music. In a park, you strike up a conversation with a fellow traveler, sharing stories in a language that bridges your different worlds. These moments remind you that English is not just a subject to study, it's a passport to new experiences, friendships, and opportunities. As your journey unfolds, you'll find that the key to mastering English, or any language, is consistency. Learning is not about cramming everything at once, it's about showing up every day, even if only for a few minutes. Imagine tending a garden. You water the plants, pull out weeds, and watch as tiny sprouts grow into vibrant flowers. Some days, it feels like nothing is happening. But with patience and care, your garden blossoms. Learning English is much the same. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, is a seed planted. And one day, you'll look back and marvel at the forest you've grown. And so, dear adventurer, you continue onward, your heart full of determination and your mind open to the endless possibilities English offers. You've learned to listen, to speak, to read, and to write. You've embraced mistakes as stepping stones and celebrated every milestone along the way. The road ahead is still long, but it is also bright, illuminated by the knowledge that you are not walking it alone. Millions around the world are on the same path, their voices joining yours in a symphony of learning and connection. English, once a stranger, has become your ally, your bridge to the world. And as you sail across its vast and ever-changing ocean, you realize that the journey is as beautiful as the destination. Keep going, keep exploring, and remember, English is easy if you follow this, one step, one word, one joyful moment at a time.